In this video, we're going to look at the history of Bitcoin a little bit in terms of its typical rallies and pullbacks during bull markets, which we are in right now and have been since late 2022. We've had these rallies, which we'll talk about, which roughly align with what we have typically seen throughout history. So basically what I did was I went back through the last decade of all the bull markets in Bitcoin and then basically dissected, similar to this, how big the ultimate pullbacks were, followed by how big the ultimate rallies were until the trend ended. And what we basically find is that the average decline during a bull market is 27%, and we've been somewhat close to that during this rally. You can see, so prior to this we were in a bear market, so we have bigger drops. Then once we enter the bull market, we tend to have these bigger runs, and followed by about 27% is the median and the average pullbacks. We've been a little bit smaller on this rally, or in this bull market, about 23% on the first one, 20% there, 22%. The last one was 22%. And then going through all these rallies inside of the bull market. So if we think of this as one big bull market, that's been going on since late 2022. The rallies, the average is 91% and the median is 75%. And so we've had a couple that are a little bit smaller than the median, and we've had one that's bigger than the median and the average. So what makes this interesting right now is that we've recently had our 20% plus pullback. So when I looked at pullbacks, I only looked at moves over 20%, because basically Bitcoin moves so much that you can move 10-15% in a couple days, and it's just noise. So I had to draw a filter somewhere, so I put it at 20%. So once we've had a 20% move to the downside, that counts as a correction. Once we've moved 20% to the upside again, that counts as a rally. And you can see basically once these rallies commence, this one a little bit stifled because we were in a bit of a range here for a while. But these other ones, once we get the breakout, some pretty significant moves. So this one, again, we got caught in a bit of a range here for a while, got choppy, popped out, pulled back, broke below all these lows and had to run. That ultimately led to the 22% decline. So on this rally here, if we were to hit median rally percentages, we would want to go up 75%. So that's going to take us to right about 67,000-ish. And then if we went for the average increase, which is closer to 91%, that would take us up to about the 73,000 area. Now these are rallies before another 20% decline. So similar to this last one that we had going through late 2023, we rallied 97% without a 20% pullback. Once we hit that 97%, then we pulled back. So we hit the median and the average before the pullback. So what these averages are just saying is look at the averages and the median, and they can give us a ballpark estimate of where the price could go. Now, it does not forecast exactly what's going to happen on this rally. It's just sort of a template that we can use to maybe help us make better decisions, help time our entries, especially on the pullbacks. I like knowing these typical pullback areas, because until you've kind of hit that 20% mark on a pullback, we're not getting too interested. It's more once we start to see that 21, 22, 23%, then we can start to look for those turning points where the price heads higher. Same with here, once we get down 21, 22%, start looking for those turns higher. So that can help us out in that regard, and then also being able to stay in some of these trends. I would still use some sort of trailing stop loss or something, because we don't know if this is going to hit the median. Is this going to be more of a dud, kind of like this one was, where we only rally? We're already well above 28, 29% already. We're at 36% off this January low, but it's still something that we want to be aware of, right? Because we could move up 60% like we did over here in March, or we could move up 120%. So there's definitely all sorts of different rallies, and an average is just an average. We have rallies bigger than the average, and we have rallies smaller than the average. So we need to understand that anytime that we're going to use averages. But just by looking at history, this is what it's indicating for Bitcoin right now if those averages were to continue playing out.